Okay. So I decided to do some more videos talking about 4C hair care. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all some additional tips on taking care of your 4C hair, how to make it have a glow up super fast, and basically how to, get it nice and thick and juicy like this. Okay. So come on in, everybody. Come on in. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. We'll wait till we get more people in here. All right, y'all. I wanted to do this video talking about 4C hair. So I want to talk about what I started doing with my hair that I'm noticing is giving it a major glow up. So I hope some of y'all will take notes, get you a pen, take some notes, y'all. Okay, take some notes. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Okay, come on in, everyone. Come on in. We're gonna talk about it. Okay, so let me because I'm gonna be touching up my scalp while I'm talking to everyone. Be touching up my scalp. My little afro pick here. So, hi everyone. Hi everybody. Okay. So this right here, what I'm doing for 4C here, will change the game. I'll explain why you have to do this daily. Not weekly, daily with 4C here. Okay. I'm going to explain why. Okay. Thick hair has a habit of growing yeast very fast. Now, there is a natural yeast in your hair, your scalp, okay? And it grows fast when you put products in. When you do this, you're lifting it, okay? You're allowing the dry yeast that's naturally there, you're allowing it to be lifted and fall as you're going through your day. So when you do this daily, especially within the first 2 hours woke, then you're detoxing. Okay, this is a form of exfoliating. Don't do this weekly, do this daily, y'all. Daily. Okay, the 4A girls, their hair is looser. Looser, so the yeast, the yeast dead skin can fall, can come out. But your hair is so compacted that you have to help it. You have to help it come out. Okay? If you ever look at Mufasa and Simba, if you ever look at the cats, they do this daily. Go watch your cats one day if you have cats. They literally do this in between their 4C here, because Mufasa has 4C here, y'all. So he has Sarabi do this to his scalp daily. All right, daily. Okay, you're pretty much just lifting, you're detoxing it. Now, after you do this, this is every single day, or at least every 3 days, y'all. You can only go 3 days without doing this. Okay, every 3 days you're going to do that, especially where the hair grows slower. So wherever your hair grows slower, you're going to do that. Okay, mine grows slower in the back. Often where the hair grows slower is where the yeast is too much. Okay, so it could be for some of y'all, it's the reason why your hair edges, your hair doesn't grow as thick and full. Okay, and remember, the yeast, it likes to eat. Okay? Any type of even natural yeast eats. So it could be eating your hair. That's why you're having overshading. All right? When you put sulfur in your hair, it combats the yeast. It keeps the yeast population down. When you are over 35 years old, your body just doesn't produce sulfur like the young people. So you can either do a protein, an egg mask. Eggs are high in sulfur. So you can do an egg mask on your hair every 2 weeks to give your hair the sulfur and the protein that it needs. Or you can take an MSM vitamin like I do. Or you could take a brain mineral vitamin. Something like this has enough vitamin with sulfur. Okay? So For some of y'all, if you're suffering from headaches or um like hair toxicity all the time, you probably need to increase your sulfur intake, your iron and your sulfur. So if you're 4C, I recommend just taking an iron supplement and just, getting you a sulfur supplement and calling it a day. Okay. What that's going to do is work with you. So when you're like lifting the yeast off your scalp, when you're lifting it, the sulfur that you put in your body and the iron is going to help to clear it out. Okay. When we say sulfurate grease, that's what sulfurate grease is doing. It's removing the high amount of yeast buildup. That's what it's doing. Okay. Now you can avoid using the sulfurate grease and just get you a sulfur vitamin. I think they got them at Walmart. Okay. So what I'm not doing is combing through to here. I'm just hitting the scalp up. That's all I'm doing. The scalp. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Now here's another 4C here secret. When you do your 4C here, and some of y'all are not going to want to do this because some of y'all are length validation chasing. When you want to really seal in moisture in your 4C here, do not finger coil up to here. You only finger coil on the edge. You're going to apply the moisturizer from your scalp down, and you're going to actually rub the moisturizer in. Don't do like this from the start. You're going to take the moisturizer, your cream, when you do the lock method, you're going to actually rub the cream in. Okay? Believe it or not, this actually does grow your hair. It does. I went a full year with only putting a hair tonic and this in my hair, and my hair grew very fast. Okay? When I tell y'all that my hair was growing so fast that people were like, "Dad, your hair's growing fast." Stylist, salonist. So all you really need as a 4C hair girl is a tonic that would detox your scalp, condition your scalp, and also fight dryness and fight frizz. So you can make your own tonic, okay, using a little bit of your hydration conditioner. Okay, remember, hydration is a game changer for 4C hair, especially if you're in the north. So you want to use a hydration conditioner in the bottle, and then you're going to put a couple drops of tea tree. You're going to put a couple drops of aloe vera. Okay, it's in the bathroom. And a couple drops of rosemary. And you're going to put that in your conditioner. Now, what I like to do is I like to put like no more than a quarter size amount of hydration conditioner in the bottle, and then always more water. So my conditioner is about this much. My water is about this much. This is how much my water is. See? So then I put a couple drops of the 3 oils I mentioned. Aloe vera, believe it or not, kills fungus. It decreases the toxic yeast on your scalp. Now you can use your tonic after you scratch your scalp. After you do this, you can spray it and leave it in. Leave it in. Okay? Or you can actually do this right before you're going to shampoo your hair. Now, this is going to be a real game changer when you use your tonic. When it's wash day, you're going to do the same process with scratching your scalp with a plastic comb. Do not use a mask. Do not use a metal one. Use a plastic one. Okay? So you don't injure your scalp. Then you're going to use your tonic, and you're going to leave it in like a couple minutes. You're not going to drench your scalp with it. You're just going to mist your scalp with it. Now, before your shampoo, you're going to rinse your hair and your scalp with apple cider vinegar and water. You're going to put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in some water and clarify. Clarifying doesn't work as well if you haven't detox the scalp. So I know y'all say, oh, I just go clarify. It doesn't work as well unless you have used a tonic before the clarifying. You'll thank me later for this. So you always want to use your tonic on your scalp before you clarify. Then when you clarify, the clarification, the clarifying, the apple cider vinegar and or your clarifying conditioner is going to lift everything up. Okay? The tonic is helping to lift as well, to remove and detox. So basically, you're giving your scalp a super detoxing when you use the tonic first before the clarifying conditioner or shampoo. Now, this is going to sound weird. After you use your apple cider vinegar and water, you're going to use your shampoo. I know you're like, Miss V, this is getting ridiculous. Yes, it is ridiculous. But you want your hair bright, okay? Your 4C hair should look super bright before you even bother to put anything in it again, okay? If it still has a dull looking tone to it, you did not clarify enough, okay? You should be able to feel this tingling, breathless sensation on your scalp. If you don't feel that, then your scalp is not ready for your product. So to get it really ready, you want to massage the scalp or scratch the scalp, add the tonic, clarify with the apple cider vinegar and water. Then after the apple cider vinegar and water, you're going to use a hydration shampoo, which will be this. A hydration shampoo. Okay? The hydration shampoo is over there. The hydration shampoo. Then you're going to use, after that, your hydration conditioner. Okay? You don't need to use a lot. A little bit goes a long way. Okay, with this stuff. Okay. Do not buy shampoo and conditioner, once again, if it does not say, it has to say Hydra. Okay? One of the biggest struggles of 4C hair is hydration. If you go too long without hydration in your 4C hair, your hair will overshed, your hair will snap and break out. So even though you're getting growth, you're going to say, why does it seem like I'm not getting growth? Because you're having too much hair fall. You don't even notice it's falling out. Okay? The hydration shampoo and conditioner is to protect you from unnecessary hair fall. So stop being cheap. Stop being cheap. Stop being cheap. And go get you a hydration conditioner and shampoo, especially in the north. If you're in Africa, yeah, you could be like, I don't need it. I'm in Africa. Or I'm in California. I'm good, Miss V. But if you're in the north, you're not good. You're not good. You need a hydration system. Now, the Matrix Curl Can Dream actually have a high amp shampoo conditioner that works wonderful for 4C hair. It's called High Amp. It is wonderful if you have gray in your hair. Okay? If you have any trace of gray in your hair will not thrive without hydration. Okay? I don't care what grease you put in your hair or whatever. If you have gray in your hair, like me, gray, it's not going to thrive without hydration. Okay. So, when you first seal your hair with the lock method, okay, if you don't apply the cream to your actual scalp, your hair is not going to thrive. Let me explain why. The products you put on your scalp is running down your hair, okay? If you put it only on your hair, the cream only on your hair, what happens is once the cream dries on your hair, it's not getting any from your scalp. So you want the cream to be running down your hair and on your hair, okay? But the cream is not just for sealing in moisture. The cream is also for hair growing, okay? So sometimes, even if you're wearing your 4C hair out, you need to have someone massage the cream on your scalp. You need to still massage cream on your scalp. Okay, 4C hair thrives more with cream or a twisting butter. I don't care what nobody say. People love to say, oh, we didn't use cream and butters. We didn't use cream and butters. Back in the 90s, they were using it in the form of a lotion. If you go back and look at the skinny bottles we were using in the 90s or when we were little, it was still a thick type of cream. It was just in a lotion bottle. The only difference is that the cream is coming in a container like this, but we were still using it in a skinny bottle. You can actually buy cream in a skinny bottle. So our mamas were still using African Pride cream lotion. It was in a skinny bottle. Our mamas were still using Royal thick cream. They were calling it lotion, but really it was still like this. It still looked like that. It still looked like that. Okay. we didn't clear up that myth. We didn't use cream. Yes, we did. We used it in the bottle, the skinny bottle, which you can still buy. Okay. All right. Now, the difference between how we was using cream when we were little compared to now is that we were massaging it in our scalp back in the 80s. Okay. We weren't just going like this down the hill. We was working it in. Now, sometimes our mamas would use a Denmark brush, and she would always go from the scalp down. Okay. So if you're not going from the scalp down with your Denmark brush, then your cream is not getting into your pores. Okay. The reason why it's important to use an Afro comb or a Denmark brush to do this is that you are waking up your pores. What this does is it stimulates the pores to receive. You can say it's like sexuality. You know, you get stimulation, then you're ready to receive. It's the same thing with your scalp. So you have to stimulate it. Okay? Stimulate. Whenever I would get my locks redone, when I would get a retwist, my African locksmith lady, she would still do this to my hair. Okay? All right. Get it. Especially behind the ear. Now, what you're going to do is you're not going to unravel. You're just going to go between. All you're doing is going between. Now, this helps if you did your hair in rows. If you did your hair in rows, then you can just pre-section. Okay. What you're trying to do is get the tonic on the scalp between the rows. Now, notice that my hair is not tightly twisted. I told y'all, the hair has to breathe. When you finger coil or two-string twist it all the way up to the root, it's not breathing. The elements and the nutrients in the air cannot get in. So it's important to not do it all the way up. As a matter of fact, you should have about a couple inches, like this much, at least from your scalp. That way the nutrients in the air can get in and oxygen can get in. If you look on the movie, the African Queen or whatever with Viola, their braids are sitting on top. Their braids have height. Their braids are not flat on the scalp. Their braids have height. So stop getting your hair tightly braided. The bottom line is you're better off with your hair finger coil than tightly braided. Because when you finger coil, you can be gentle. No tension. When you have somebody else braid your hair, they might braid it too close and then there's no oxygen coming in. Okay, there's no oxygen. And when the product runs, it can't run through because you got it too tight. Okay, so start leaving your hair where it looks like you have new growth. Your hair should look like new growth's coming in. See how this look like new growth is coming in? I know some of y'all like, I don't like it like that. The density and the thickness of your hair when it's finger coiled, it looks actually pretty good. But you may not think it looks good because you're used to seeing everybody with snatched two-strand twist. You're used to seeing everybody with the two-strand twist all the way up to the scalp. So your eyes is trained to think that that is what looks good. But if you ever notice when people have their locks in for a couple months and they get that new growth in, you're like, ooh, that looks so good with the little bit of new growth they got coming in there. It looks wonderful, especially when it's moisturized. The people moisturize their locks and they put their tonic leave in, then it gets all coiled. See, you want to be able to get that coily look at your root. See how it's coiling? See how that's coiling up? Okay. You want to trigger your hair to lock in moisture. How can you trigger your hair to lock in moisture if your hair is plaited to the damn scalp? It's not going to lock in moisture that way. I couldn't figure out why my hair was seeming to grow so fast when I was only getting the finger coils. For 2 years straight, I got finger coils only. I said, what was making it grow fast? It was because I got finger coils. I was only doing the end. I wasn't cooling up to the scalp. Do you see Mufasa's hair coiled to the scalp? Now, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Go look at the Lion King. Do you see Mufasa's hair 2-strand twisted to the scalp? No. Hi, everybody. Okay. If the cats aren't twisting their hair to the scalp, if Mufasa isn't, you shouldn't be. Like, that's the real talk, y'all. So drop out of the community of twisting hair to the scalp. If you want hair growth, if you want your hair to be nice and thick looking like mine, I got some thick 4C here. Okay, I'm the queen of thick hair. This hair, I got so much hair coming out this head that when I go to the salon, they be like, woo, you have a lot of hair. They end up putting 2 people on my head. You don't want premature balding, okay? Which older women tend to get as they age, okay, like men. So stop twisting your hair to the root. If you're over 35, just stop doing it, like for real. Stop plaiting it to the root. Stop twisting it to the root. Okay, that's right. It's hard for your hair to stay oiled if it's tight. I mean, people say, oh, I want to put my leave-in conditioner in. Sis, your leave-in conditioner is not working if your hair is plaited tight. If your hair is 2-strand twisted to the root, it's not working. The leave-in conditioner, your tonic's not going to get through. So just to be sure your tonic get through, don't even do it tight, y'all. Don't even do it. Okay. All right. Sometimes it takes for y'all to see someone else do something that you're afraid to do for y'all to do it. And that's what I'm doing. This has an oil in it. It has rosemary, tea tree, and aloe vera. So I got to make sure that I get it. And it has a hydration conditioner. You want your hair to look like your hair's been semi-locked for a couple months, okay? That's how it should be looking. I know y'all think that looks homeless, but homeless men hair look better than ours. Let's keep it real. Their hair looks stronger, it looks thicker, and it grows faster. That's because they don't twist their hair tight. Homeless people will go 5 months without even retwisting or resealing. You know, retwisting and replaiting. But they'll still wash their hair and they'll still, you know, put their little stuff in. They just won't do their hair tight. We have a problem in the Black community where we think snatched is always better. No, it's not. Snatch is not better for 4C hair people. It's not. Okay? You are allowed to look like you from Africa. When you try to do tight 4C hair, tight 2-strand twist, tight plaits, you're trying to look like you kind of have 4A. You're kind of be, I'm trying to fake it a little bit. Stop trying to fake it and let your true roots show through. You know these are your roots, okay? You know those your roots. Leave them alone. Like, for real, y'all. Now, I don't use gel anymore. I got rid of all the gel because I find that once the gel is in your hair a couple days, the grease stop working, and then the gel starts to make your hair feel crispy. Okay, so I don't want crispy hair. I don't want crispy hair. I want hair that looks luscious. Okay, and you have to not be afraid to have your hair feeling moisturized. It should feel moisturized. You should feel moisture on your hand. If you don't feel moisture on your hand after you do your hair, then you probably didn't put enough in your hair. Now, some of y'all say, well, I don't want the moisture on my sofa and stuff. Let me explain something to y'all. In the old days, it was tacky and tasteless to put your head up against somebody's sofa. So you really should not be putting your head on people's sofas have mites in them. They have lice and bugs in them, dust and everything in them. Sofa is for sitting. Sofa is not for putting your hair against. You should be sitting upright in the proper position when you are on a sofa. Your hair should not be back like this on anyone's sofa. As a matter of fact, in the old days, Egyptian times, the queens would never put their hair on someone else's sofa in bed. Okay, that's why some of y'all got spell work on y'all hair. Okay, really, you should be having your hair covered if you're going to put your hair on anyone's sofa in bed. People's bed be having demons in them and spell work. Okay. All right, I do mine at least every other week or every 2 weeks. Okay. Now, the beautiful thing about finger coils is they take less than an hour. See what I'm saying? They take no more than an hour. Now, what you can do is you can pre-part your hair in 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can pre-condition it overnight. Then in the morning, you just do the finger coils. Okay? And then your hair's already parted and ready, and already with the leave-in conditioner in. It's nice and soft because you put the leave-in conditioner in your hair overnight. You put your plastic cap, shower cap on in your sleep overnight. Then you wake up, your hair's nice and soft because it's been steamed by the heat in your room. And then you can just go section by section with the finger coils. Now, this is what the angels told me. The finger coils should actually be almost the size as your finger. That's why they're called finger coils. So your finger coils, if you go to the width of your finger, they need to be almost as fat as your finger. Almost as fat. Okay? If you don't have enough hair, like I don't sometime on this side, because this is my slow growing side, then what I do is I at least make sure I leave the width at the root and just let this be down like that. Okay. Now, of course, if you're like, oh, I just want to finger coil out a little bit more, because you already finger coiled it, what you don't want to do is you don't want to like I'm trying to get it super tight. You want to let the natural coil of it happen. Okay. If you have enough product and cream in your hair, you should be able to do what I just did and be like, okay, I just touched that up. Okay. You could touch it up, but you don't want to do it all the way to the root. See how I'm leaving that? See how I'm leaving that right there? See? Even if I do this, you want to do it like you want to treat your hair like it's a baby, because it is like baby hair. It is like baby hair. Okay? You want to be very gentle, even if you're touching it up. Now, where you put your scarf on at night is going to require you to touch that up. So if you're laying right here like this, or you're laying like this when you go to sleep, you're probably going to want to do a little bit of taming. You're not going to redo it. You're just going to do a little bit of taming if you're nitpicky. But you don't want to do it all the way up to the root. You're just going to do some taming like I just did. Hi, everybody. All right. Okay. All right. So let's get into what somebody just said. Somebody said detox your hair from all that oil. All right, classes in session. I love when somebody come for me. I don't know if you're coming for me or what, but you do have to detox every week or two to get the oil out. But when you put the oil takes at least a week to go stale. Okay? Provided that you're using detoxing oils. Okay, detoxing oils take about a week and a half at the most to go stale in your hair. We're talking about rosemary, tea tree, and aloe vera. Those three oils fight fungus and yeast. They take at least a week rancid. They go rancid in your, they start to go rancid within a week. Okay. And then you know, about a week and a half, you should be scheduling a shampoo day or whatever. Um, but you don't you hi everybody. But the oils, I want to get y'all to understand this. The oils go in first. If you're doing the lock method, then the oil should have come before the cream. Only time the oil can be put back in your hair is when you're using it in a tonic, a water-based tonic as a finisher. As a finisher. Because the water is going to help it be penetrated with the cream that you already have in your hair. So if you're going to put any oil back in your hair again after you use the cream, it should be within the leave-in conditioner that is water-based. Only time you can use oil in its raw form is when you're doing the lock method from scratch. This means the LOC method, okay? The liquid, if you want to put a leave-in conditioner in there, the liquid, but believe it or not, the liquid can just be water. So you spread your hair with water, then you use your three oils, as I mentioned. Okay? And then you put the cream over top when you do your coils. That would be the lock method. Now, because I live in a very cold part of the north, it's very cold. I am like making sure that my hair does not dry out. So what I like to use in the winter season, as I always use a grease on the first lock day. So on the very first day that I use the lock method, I will put just a little bit, okay, just a little bit on my scalp, because I know I'm going to be fighting the dry scalp really, really hard, because it's -8 degrees out. It's -8 degrees out. So I know my scalp is going to be like drying out. So on the very first day, I put some on my scalp. I do not put it on my actual hair. I know y'all been told, oh, put grease on your actual hair. It depends on the grease. Okay, I can put this on my hair if I want, because it has a coconut base grease. It has coconut in it. It will seal. But I would not put this on my actual hair until a couple days before wash day. This means what I'm doing is I'm trying to seal in the moisture for a couple more days until wash day. So we know a couple days before wash day, your hair is struggling to retain moisture. So maybe like 4 days before wash day, I might actually put some cream in my hair and just put some of this on top of it. The grease has to go on top of the cream. The grease cannot go first, because the cream can't penetrate grease. Grease penetrates cream. So 4 days before wash day, I might want to use this as a preconditioning softening system. This means before I clarify and shampoo my hair, this is going to add some softness to my hair. See what I'm saying? Now, for some of y'all, you can actually use this before you use your washout conditioner. I know y'all like, I ain't never heard of that. Yeah, you can. Okay. So if you want to boost moisture in your hair after your shampoo, you can use this the same way you would use a hot oil treatment. Okay. So the very same way, you're going to warm up some of the grease. You're going to put some of the grease on your ends of your hair. You're going to leave it in a few minutes. Okay. If some of y'all want to go with the shampoo first, fine. But if you have very dense, very coarse 4C hair like me, you may not want to shampoo all the grease out. So then you will use the washout conditioner after this instead. So let's say you're living in very cold weather, you have very coarse, tightly condensed 4C hair, then you may want to shampoo your hair, then use this as a hot oil treatment, hot grease oil treatment. Then you're just a little bit on the hair, just a little bit. And then you're going to use your washout conditioner. Okay. You're going to notice that your hair has some extra softness to it. Okay. Just a little bit, you know, it's going to be like, oh, got a little soft and manageable. And then after that, then you can just do the lock method. Remember, the oil becomes before the cream. Now, the oils that you choose before the cream is going to determine whether your hair is going to grow faster. So if you're not using oils that would actually stimulate hair growth, then don't expect the hair growth to happen faster. Don't expect your hair to, grow faster. So make sure that before you use your cream, they're the right oils that would stimulate hair growth. But they have to be oils that also fight fungus. They have to do both. So rosemary, tea tree, and aloe vera, all three of those oils fight fungus at the same time while stimulating growth. Peppermint is often as a neutralizer of yeast activity. Okay, but it also grows your hair. But peppermint is not something you really want to leave in your hair. Okay, so peppermint, you can use that before your shampoo. Okay, the only way you can use peppermint as a leave-in is you would have to literally dilute it really, really good, y'all. So unless you're really good at like diluting the oils, where you're like making sure that there's not too much peppermint in the water according to the base oils you're using, you're better off using peppermint as a washout, a scalp stimulant on wash day. So whenever I go to the salon, they only use peppermint as a scalp growth stimulant before they shampoo. So before you shampoo your hair, you can go, let me put some peppermint on my scalp, leave it in for a couple minutes, then shampoo it out. But tea tree is a moisturizer, and so is rosemary. So they can be left in your hair. So rosemary and tea tree can be left in your hair. Aloe vera, you don't want to go buck wild with the aloe vera, because aloe vera, if you use too much of it, it'll harden your hair. So if you're using the aloe vera gel as a pre-treatment for softening and growing your hair, you want to wash it out completely, or it will harden your hair. But you can actually use aloe vera still as a scalp moisturizer. But you don't want to go too much. You want to put a little bit. But it needs to be the actual oil, not the gel. Some people try to moisturize their hair with the olive oil gel. It doesn't. It might can come through for 3A girl hair, but it don't really turn up on our hair. Okay, it don't turn up with moisturizing. It's not powerful enough for our hair for moisturizing. By itself, it's not. So if you want to use aloe vera as a pre-moisturizer, you're still going to have to use it with a cream. Just saying, y'all. Rosemary oil moisturizer can actually be used as a finisher and by itself. And it doesn't even have to be washed out. I'm explaining the oils to y'all as well. So you're better off actually just making sure, every week you spray your scalp and your hair with rosemary water and go about your way, whatever. Now, and of course, before you go to shampoo your hair, while you have the peppermint on your scalp, you can actually drench your hair with cucumber water. which I'm doing, which I decided to start as of next week. When I was eating a lot of cucumbers, my hair was growing faster. And I figured it out. Cucumbers are essential for vitamin B, the vitamin B that would grow your hair. And so is certain seeds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and vitamin B have that B vitamin that is important to stop hair fall and to grow your hair. So if you have seeds and cucumbers as a snack every day, you're giving your hair support. Or you can just make you an almond milk seed and cucumber smoothie every day. Or you can literally just rinse your hair with cucumbers. Now, some people say onions grow your hair. I know Cardi B, I think she uses onions and cucumbers on her scalp. Onions grow your hair because they wake up your pores really fast. Okay, your pores are stimulated. Okay, onions is sort of like a superfood for growing hair for the empress. If the empress is struggling with hair growth, she may put onions on her scalp. Now, garlic also, some people use garlic. Now, before you go to wash your hair on wash day, you can actually just put your cucumber water and your onions in the bottle, the onion water in the bottle, and then finish the bottle on your hair. And then leave it in, some of y'all can leave it in maybe up to an hour and then shampoo and condition your hair. So when your conditioner, when your homemade tonic is almost empty, okay, maybe it's all the way down to here, then you want to go ahead and put cucumber water in there, and then spray it on your scalp. Leave it in for about an hour, and then rinse it out, just to make sure that it got through your scalp. Leave it in, and then shampoo and condition your hair. Okay. The rituals has to be different according to the stages of your hair wash day, your wash cycle. So you use the tonic before your wash and conditioning, then up to like the day that you're going to wash and condition your hair, that's when you start adding food in it. So you can put egg in your hair, you can put mayo in your hair that day, you can put cucumber water, onion water in your hair. You can do all this right before you do your shampoo and conditioner. But you still need to have something that support your hair before the wash day. And that is the tonic. Okay. I'm telling y'all no lie. The tonic is going to change the game for y'all. I know y'all been told something different, but you can actually buy Design Essentials tonic. Design Essentials have their own tonic. See what I'm saying? It's like $20 a bottle, so you're better off making your own. Unless you want to pay $15 at least for Design Essentials over-the-counter hair tonic, you're better off making your own. I mean, you can actually buy a bottle of aloe vera oil for like $6, rosemary for $6, and tea tree for $6, and then make your own with your conditioner, and then you didn't save at least 6 months of money that you would have spent on Design Essentials tonic. So consider trying to invent your own hair tonic. Okay. I know some of y'all like, I be wanting to wash my hair as soon as it get itchy. No, I know that you think itchy mean wash. No, itchy could mean that it's the fungus is fighting for its life. It's fighting. Okay, it's trying to thrive because you are destroying it. So just cruise with your hair tonic. Okay, cruise with it. Literally be like this. Okay. Now, and of course, Jamaican Line, they have their own hair tonic, but it's like $10 a bottle. Why not just make your own? Okay, if you have nothing else to do, put some tonic on your scalp. On the third day of the week, hair tonic. Every 3 days, hair tonic. Okay. Now you want to make sure you put the tonic in the middle because this is where it thrives at the most. The fungus thrives there. Okay. Now, let's say you be like, oh, well, my hair feels dry. Don't confuse dry as, oh, my hair is going to break out. Your hair will go through a drying phase after you seal. Okay. So just give it a couple days. Don't just rush to reseal. Your hair, when your hair feels like almost close to crispy dry, then that's the time that you'll be like, okay, let me put some more cream in my hair. Let me wet my hair, cream it again. But don't be like, oh, because I feel some dryness. I feel some, so I'm struggling. No, because you could actually still have gray in your hair and keep in mind that you have 4C, coarse hair. So when it's starting to go dry, that's actually a sign that your hair is thriving. When you start to feel your hair go dry, it's because your scalp is drinking it up. Like, okay, when it starts to feel like it's getting crispy dry, then it's like time to use your tonic again and time to re-cream again. So mine don't feel crispy dry. It's not crispy dry. Okay, it's a little dry because I had my satin scarf on. Now, of course, what I can do if I'm like, okay, it's a little dry, I don't want to go back on the scalp because I just did the scalp. So I may just want to just put the moisturizer, just the cream, just down where I feel is dry. Okay, all you're doing is maintenance on your hair. Okay, this is why it's important to make sure that you are sleeping in scarves that aren't pressing against your hair everywhere. Now, of course, the sides of your hair in the front, you're going to have to re-cream them because it's the sides that you sleep on. So consider the side that you sleep on. If you're like, I sleep on this side, I'm always on this side of my hair, then you just want to, after you use your tonic, you want to just make sure that you're just getting the cream down the dry part. So you're going to feel your hair, feel, you're assessing. Just like when you assess your body, when you look at you like, do I got dry skin? You're doing the same thing with your 4C hair. Okay. Now, like I said, on the first day that you do the lock method, the cream is going to go on your scalp. On the third day or the next day, it's going to go on your actual hair as a remoisturizing system so that your ends don't break. Okay. Some people by the fifth day they add a little bit of grease on their ends, but that's up to you. Okay. I'm just getting a feel. Because I have this gray hair, it's going to feel like I didn't moisturize. But I did, on the third day or the second day. You want to really protect your ends, okay? The hair growth is still going to come, but you still have to make sure that you're protecting your ends. Now, when you use your hair tonic, you still want to make sure that you're getting the edges, okay? A lot of people forget to get their edges, and then they say the front of my hair is growing slow. Now, what I like to do, is I like to add a little bit of cream on my edges and in the front of my hair every couple days, just to kind of give my hair a reboost. Like re-moisturizer my edges. Okay, there. So notice I'm like not really trying to like go in on my I'm not really going in on my I'm not trying to do it all the way up. I'm just kind of just leaving it. Okay. There we go. So I had a little bit on my hand. Okay. All right. Some of y'all need to have somebody just do this for stimulation. Okay, bye everybody. Let me see. Nice and thick looking, y'all. I leave mine thick. I'm like, no, I don't need it to look. I don't need it to look snatched, y'all. I don't do that snatch no more because I notice every time I get snatched hairstyles, the I notice my ends are like split or my edges are gone. Like eventually, like months down the road, all of a sudden the front of my hair is like shorter. So all right, y'all. Bye everybody. I will do another video. Tonic in the house, y'all. Tonic in the house. Bye everybody.